This is your First Alert Weather Breakdown, a deep dive into how weather works with meteorologist Evan Thomason.
Welcome on to the First Alert Weather Breakdown. I am meteorologist Evan Thomason, joined, you know who always joins me here for the most part, CJ Cartledge. It's Tuesday. Welcome on.
Thank you, Evan. Welcome. Happy to be here once again for another Tuesday to talk about the exciting things that's going on with the weather this week.
Oh, to be fair, we're staying mostly quiet. Let's say that first and foremost.
That is true.
I know we try to pinpoint things happening, and there is stuff happening. Don't get me wrong. In the 7-day forecast, there's a lot to be excited over, and keep your first alert about with temperature swings. Also, a chance of severe weather maybe eventually in that 7-day forecast. But I will say, for this short-term period, things are relatively calm and quiet, which I am personally appreciating.
I'm appreciating this as well. We had 2 severe weather events last week that we were pretty much on the clock for all the time, just watching it and telling you guys the latest details on that front. We had a couple of tornado warnings, but thankfully not too much damage happened in our Cartledge region here. But we're expecting mostly quiet conditions for a change, so got to be grateful for that.
Especially for the entire work week. I know one of the worst worries about, going to work and to school, especially for the kiddos, making up extra time for some of the rain happening. And then you got to put the raincoats and the rain jackets and the umbrellas all in the car, and it just makes for a havoc and be like, ugh, why, weatherman? Why did you do this to us?
Right.
Yeah. Fortunately enough, again, rest of the work week is looking mostly dry, which is great. Unfortunately, what that does mean is our next chance of rain is targeting the weekend. Yeah. Which is not, I was like, that's the thing, though, is if you get the rain during the work week, you don't have to worry about it on the weekend. But unfortunately, the weekend, I will say the weekend's going to have its bright spots. Don't get me wrong. It's not going to be a washout in its entirety, but stay first alert with us and stay tuned for this forecast to see when it is coming up. Because, just watch out for a section of the weekend for your weekend plans with not just any chance of rain, but a chance for severe storms actually as well. So, yep. All right, let's take a look at our weekend. I'm already psyched about the weekend. It's Tuesday. I'm getting too far ahead of myself. Let's look at the agenda here for this Tuesday episode. We got sunny skies on the way here for today and the next couple of days, which is great. By a little bit of cloud cover, but nothing of which will give us any chance of rain here for the short term. But we are talking, sadly, as we've just hinted about, severe storms that are coming and targeting us in the Arctic here for the weekend. Meteorologist CJ Cartledge has joined. You are aware of that. For exclusive content for the day today, I didn't really write it down on this agenda, but we will be talking about something that happened for the past 24 hours over in a... How do I not spoil this without spoiling this? Let's just say something unusual has happened on one of our graphics that is true, and realistic, but it's just unusual that this happened during this time of year.
Yeah,
I think that's a good way to tease it.
It sparked all of the weather world and made everybody surprised, like, what? This happened?
24 hours. It's gone now, and we'll explain why later. But I think that's a good way of teasing it. I know people are listening to this and going like, what the heck are you talking about, man? What are you dragging on about? Something vague? What, huh?
Yeah. Make sure to tune in for the next couple of minutes, and we'll tell you exactly what that is. You'll be surprised as well. Maybe a little bit scared, but you shouldn't be scared about this, what we're going to talk about here. So make sure to stay tuned for that.
All is fine, all is quiet now. Anyways, let's take a live look at our Mattress Plus Skycam here in Shreveport. All right, we got mostly clear skies here for the day today, although you notice one difference on the camera. We do have some cloud cover around. If you look at this camera yesterday, we did have pretty much nothing on it, nothing but blue skies and sunshine. Cloud cover, again, is back here for the day today. I think that's going to be present here for tomorrow in the Arctic as well, but thankfully, none of that cloud cover is going to give us any chance of wet weather. So now, here are your weather headlines here for your Tuesday. Even though, again, there's not much going on in the skies over the next couple of days, we will still have some good temperature swings over the next several days.
Oh, yeah, it was definitely a warm morning for sure. Temperatures were well into the 50s across the region. Do you know if any temperatures got into the 40s last night? It might not have been.
Temperatures did get in the 40s, CJ. They're right around, it was pretty much the outskirts of the region, though. Natchitoches, Bienville, the Queen, But even then, it was like upper 40s. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty much expected. Upper 40s and lower 50s. Some areas got into or I assume into the upper 50s as well, and across the area. So definitely a much warmer morning for today. But as we move into Thursday, the effects of the cold front finally move through. That is expected to move in tomorrow, and lower temperatures back to where they were at the start of the week. Into those 30s and the lower 40s. So you'll definitely need that light jacket out or the big coat per se, for some areas that may be hitting that freezing mark or getting close to it by Thursday morning. But all the while, it's going to be sunny through the work week and into some parts, or at least for the first half of the weekend, before we may see some showers and storms heading into Sunday. But temperatures right now across the Arklatex have already hit the 70-degree mark near Shreveport, and everywhere else is still remaining in those 60s. 62 for the Queen, 65 in Texarkana, 66 for Magnolia, as said before, 70 in Shreveport Bossier, 66 for Nacogdoches, into the upper 70s near Natchitoches and Florine as well. These temperatures will continue to climb despite the cloud cover and the windy conditions that we'll be dealing with through the day. And as you can see, most of the area is dealing with absolutely nothing going on around the Arklatex. No precipitation and no types of rain coming in within the next 24 hours at least. As we head into right now, that's actually the wind speeds right now. We're going to check the wind speeds real quick. This is not wind gusts. This is actually the sustained winds going on around the Arklatex. 17 right now near Shreveport Bossier. 17 also for Magnolia. 20 miles per hour winds near Mount Pleasant and Idabel. Just a bit higher than that near Cartledge and Mansfield. Maybe a couple of miles per hour higher than Mount Pleasant and Idabel as well.
Now, this is new as of this morning. In fact, this actually just got updated actually a couple minutes ago by the National Weather Service. The National Weather Service has now extended the basically the area of the wind advisory here. That's going to be in effect until 7 p.m. tonight. That's in effect for a good portion of the Arklatex, including Shreveport and Texarkana. That's also in effect for all of our East Texas counties and Southeast Oklahoma. This is our one weather alert here for the day today. We want to keep you first alert about. I know wind, not entirely what am I trying to say? The main focus of, the conditions out there for your Tuesday per se, but essentially it's going to get very breezy throughout the entirety of the afternoon hour, so watch out for that, especially if you're driving in a vehicle. Sometimes you could be pushed around, so drive a little more carefully, and especially if you're having outdoor events, it's going to be a day to tie down some of those tents that you'll have ongoing for any outdoor events. Now, temperatures this afternoon leading up to around 80 degrees still. Despite the wind, despite the warmer morning, our temperatures for this afternoon are pretty similar to that of yesterday. But if you thought we couldn't get any warmer for a morning, think again. We got warmer temperatures in store for tomorrow morning. Ours are low temperatures only reach down into the 60s, quite frankly. And then you'll start to see the cold air filtering in, especially in the northern half of the Arklatex. High temperatures are going to start to dwindle a little bit and drop a little bit in the across the region entirely, but especially in the northern half of the Arklatex. Temperatures already starting to drop there by Wednesday morning. Thursday morning, lows get into the 40s. This is going to be much more chilly here to end off the work week. And notice the high temperatures, yes? Only reaching into the 60s. 60s for highs, that is, again, for Thursday afternoon. Overall, over the next 5 days, thankfully, we'll see a rebound into Friday and Saturday. It'll happen slowly but surely. Highs get right back up to 80 degrees just in time for the weekend. But I want to pinpoint here tomorrow exclusively just for you, because temperatures could be a wide range, as we kind of just saw in that future track here for your temperatures here for your Wednesday, as we're expecting a high of 71 in Texarkana, yet we could get up to 80 degrees still around Natchitoches here by tomorrow afternoon, despite sunny skies being out everywhere. I will say, if it is going to rain on any day of the work week, tomorrow morning is going to be the time to do so. But even then, it's just looking like a stray hair of a rain shower possible across northwest Louisiana, while the rest of the Arklatex pretty much continues on their regularly scheduled sunshine and blue skies. CJ?
Taking a quick look at future track right now, we're going to be dealing with a bit of some cloud cover as we move through our Tuesday and as we move through the rest of Tuesday as well. A cold front will start to approach the region and not bring much rain chance here in the Arklatex, and may just going back just a tad bit here to Wednesday morning, we can expect these clouds to start to build up through the late overnight hours heading into early Tuesday morning here, and maybe bringing about a brief shower or two down to the far south and eastern portions of the region. But we're not expecting much in terms of any rain totals. This is a pretty much hit or miss type of rain shower, and it's most likely going to be a miss for most of the Arklatex. But as we move into the rest of our Wednesday, clouds clear out once again. Sunny skies look to return, and this looks to last even heading into our Thursday coming up later on this week. Now let's talk about long-range future track. I believe this is. We're going to be dealing with mostly clear skies heading into Wednesday and Thursday. Thursday looks to be the coolest day of the week before some clouds return by the time we hit Friday. And Saturday looks to be dealing with a little bit of a temperature warm-up here. But as we head towards our Sunday, we could receive some rain showers and storms through a system that may move just to the north of us or hit most of the northern portions of the Arklatex. But most of the area is actually encompassed within that severe risk for our Sunday. But as you can see, by the late evening and early afternoon hours, we can start to see some showers and storms pop up around the Arklatex and possibly last through the overnight, through some parts of the overnight hours here. This is our next weather maker here in the Arklatex, looking to bring some scattered storms across the area. We're watching for that severe threat, and the timing looks to be going into Sunday night here. We'll get more accurate details on the specifics in terms of timing and the specific threats as we get closer in time. But right now, the slight risk of severe weather has shifted southward to include areas around I-30 and I-20 and the southern half of the Arklatex region, even encompassing areas like Dallas and to the east of us in northeast Louisiana and more portions of southern Arkansas as well. So make sure to stay weather aware as we get closer in time for when this event occurs here. Here's your 7-day forecast. We're expecting temperatures to reach the upper 70s and lower 80s once again for your Tuesday. Still being breezy across the Arklatex. Wind advisory lasts until 7 p.m. today, but we could see another wind advisory be issued as we move into tomorrow when the cold front moves through. That is when temperatures will drop a little bit into those low to mid 70s and down into the mid and upper 60s heading into our Thursday. The coolest morning of our work week looks to be possibly Wednesday night or Thursday, or actually Wednesday night and Thursday night, I would say, waking up Friday morning. But as we move into the weekend, Friday and Saturday looks to bring back those warmer conditions. Temperatures reach the lower 80s and upper 70s once again. We have the chance to see some severe weather heading into Sunday, and this may bring a cold front that will knock temperatures back into the 70s by the start of the new week.
Now, one more thing about that stormy outlook here for your Sunday. Again, as CJ just mentioned about that severe weather risk, that bullseye has kind of shifted on top of the Arklatex, sadly, here for us into Sunday. So especially want to keep you first alert and first aware about that system as it comes on by. But as I always say with these 7-day forecasts, I mean, there's only one day out of the entire 7 days that's filled with rain. And even then, I will say most of the timing of the system with the weekend storms looks to come on Sunday night. So hopefully that won't impact the daytime hours or even the morning hours here for your Sunday off to church. So hopefully that just kind of hits a corner of the weekend, the last little part essentially. But we'll keep you first alert and first aware. The one thing we do have that going for us with this system is time. We do have time, CJ. You have the next 5 days to, first of all, get updates about the system, and secondly, and most importantly, enjoy the sunny skies. And for the rest of the work week, it's still Tuesday. As much as I want it to be the weekend, already and always, it is sadly only Tuesday.
Yep, it's only Tuesday. So if it was the weekend, this would be our Sunday, because it's only the second day of the work week or the second day of the weekend. But anyways, yeah, we still have a lot of beautiful and comfortable conditions to go through pretty much and make it a little bit cool as we go into our Wednesday and Thursday, and a little bit windy going through today and tomorrow. But temperatures warm back up into those 70s and 80s heading into the weekend before the next big rain chance arrives on Sunday afternoon into Sunday night.
Not gonna lie, I don't mind a little bit of a cool down thanks to that wind.
Yeah,
The
I don't mind it
temperatures
either.
reaching into the lower 80s. I know some people working outside. I know it's a little crazy for maybe people working outside with the wind around, especially if you've got objects laying on the ground.
Oh,
But
yeah.
the breeze cools them down. That's my point. Because especially, I think we reached highs as high as almost 90 degrees, I think, one day last week.
Last week, yeah, I believe so. It got very close to
Broke
it.
them a sweat.
Yeah.
That's for certain.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. But anyways, all right. So that was looking at your full weather forecast. We alluded to this earlier. Something rare happened Yeah, let's just go with that. We're
Something
gonna explain.
rare happened out in the around the world. I would say it's very close to the United States, but maybe just outside of the United States. Let me just tease it. Something happened in the tropics.
There you go.
Something happened in the tropics,
Ooh.
and we're going to talk to you more about it coming up in just a couple minutes here.
Yep,
So
we'll see
make sure
after
to
this.
stay tuned.
Yep. All right, welcome back to the First Alert Weather Breakdown. I'm back with meteorologist CJ Cartledge. Yes, as you alluded to, CJ, we had something weird happening in the tropics. And wait a minute, you guys are talking about tropics and checks month March? What? Excuse me?
Yes, March 17th, March 18th today, because it was pretty odd what happened here. The National Hurricane Center actually put a chance for development on a storm in the Atlantic. It was right in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, and it was only 10%, but it's something you don't usually see 76 days away from the start of hurricane season. You might see some yellow marks, I believe, not yellow marks, but like yellow chances, low chances of development, according to the National Hurricane Center, maybe towards April, and not towards April, but May, like the end of May, close to when the start of hurricane season is. But this one was seen in March, 10% for the next 2 days and 7 days.
I mean, well, first of all, let's do the math here. Tropical season ended at the end of November.
Yes, November 30th.
And so that was about 4 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
And we still have another 2.5 months until the start of tropical season. I think you see what I'm getting at here. This is almost right during the middle of the off season, and yet we're still... Not still, but we're somehow talking about this. So essentially what you see on your map there is our usual map for tropical development that we show you in the Atlantic Ocean. Essentially, this graphic will pop up with these orange circles and orange, red, and yellow circles for areas of development. Yellow means it has a very low chance of forming. Red means high chance. There was a little yellow circle that had a 10% chance of forming over the last 24 hours. Thankfully, this is new as of this hour. Just about an hour ago, the National Hurricane Center finally took that area of interest down. But essentially, where I have that little 10% box there in yellow is where that area of interest was.
Mm-hmm.
Just out in the kind of like a fish storm out in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. Very weird and very strange. I made a comment about that on my social media page earlier. But they said kind of wacky just for the middle of March. My goodness.
Yeah, if I had to compare this to, like, in sports terms, I had just thought of this. That's like the Saints playing a scrimmage right now. Like 3 months before the season even starts. They play a scrimmage in, like, June. Like, it's unheard of, you know?
Mhm.
It doesn't happen often. or like maybe a live practice scrimmage or something.
Maybe that's
like
what
that.
we're doing. Maybe that's what the Hurricanes doing. It's practicing.
Yeah, it's
Practicing for, but that's not good.
Hopefully, it's not foreshadowing
we
for
shouldn't.
what this season is gonna be.
I was like, we shouldn't do that. We shouldn't tell the the folks that the Hurricanes are practicing and prepping up for tropical season. That's not a good. That's not.
Yeah, we don't want to
Cancel
scare
that.
y'all. We're not trying to scare y'all,
No.
but yeah, that was a very weird thing to see. It sparked
Yeah.
the entire weather community, and it was just like, what in the world? Like, is this actually going to form? But in the description that the National Hurricane Center showed, they told us that the low pressure system wasn't going to last more than 24 hours, and it didn't.
Yeah.
I think it got introduced like early morning yesterday. Or something, or something like that. And I saw it on Twitter. Woke up yesterday, and I was like, "Is this real?" And I would check the website, and it was actually real. It was
Same
like 10%.
thing. Yeah. So
Yeah.
when I got home from work, and I'm like, how did I not see this at work? one of my tabs literally going into work is the National Hurricane Center, but I don't touch it during these months. I mean, what's the point?
Right.
What am I gonna click on it and
See,
no tropical development expected over the next 7 days? Thanks. It's the middle of January. I could have told myself that.
exactly.
But very strange. Very, very strange regardless. So thankfully, again, the area of interest has dissipated. No worries. No nothing. All right. Again, we'll keep you first alert about anything tropic-wise as always once we get into June. June 1st is the start of tropical season. But again, that is not for another 2.5 months. 2.5 months. Let's, just like my 7-day forecast, let's chillax.
Let's chillax.
Chillax. Enjoy the sunshine
Right. Exactly.
while it's still here. All right. Cool. We're going to toss it a break real quick. We'll kind of recap this episode and see what you can look forward to on tomorrow's episode with CJ Cartledge. Ooh, man. We'll have more on that coming up after this.
It's hot in here.
Hey, welcome back to the First Alert Weather Breakdown. All right, so recap this episode. We talked about the severe storms on the way for the weekend, although all that's after some sunshine for the rest of the work week. Now, somebody will be showcasing that tomorrow. That will be CJ Cartledge, will be actually your host here for First Alert Weather Breakdown. In fact, we kind of have a little mini announcement here for First Alert Weather Breakdown. Obviously, CJ has been a vital part of this podcast for basically since forever. Since it was in its existence. That was a little weird. Since
like August. Since
July and August. We started this in July. I think you kind of debuted, so to speak, in August. I'm guessing, so to speak. That makes sense. Essentially, we're making CJ a little more of a vital component of the First Alert Weather Breakdown. We're going to be kind of integrating and also switching out our hosts a little more. so it's not just me, myself doing it every single day. We're going to have CJ do it by himself, essentially a little more times during the work week here for us. So essentially, instead of just seeing me and just a little doses of CJ every once in a while, you will see both me and CJ for just about the same amount of time per week, essentially. So, first of all, CJ, how does that feel?
I mean, that feels fine. You know, it gives me a little bit more experience, you know, talking on air per se, on like through a stream and everything. I like the stream type of setup as well. It just allows me to, you know, be relaxed. The first alert weather breakdowns are more relaxed, and you have more time to talk about the weather instead of just trying to say everything as much as you can in a little amount of time that you have on air. So I like doing that. I like being on the podcast for that.
It's not like this, CJ Talk.
Yes. Hello.
30 seconds, CJ.
Yeah. In your ear.
Hey, rap. Be quiet, CJ.
And the weather, you know what I'm saying? The weather. And then you have people talking in your ear the whole time. So that's actually pretty hard. That's something we have to talk about here on the podcast and everything.
That's what happens during the showtime, though.
Yeah.
For news, which I understand. You got to get going to all the news segments. You got to go to commercial breaks at certain times, which we aren't aware of. That's what the producers are telling us kind of behind the scenes in the ear. But honestly, just kind of bringing that aspect up real quick, that's one of the most difficult and challenging things to get used to for me personally as a meteorologist on the television.
Oh, yeah.
Was having somebody talk in your ear consistently while you are focused on your audience at all times.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like, hey, I'm talking about the weather. It's sunny. Oh, what was that? 30 seconds? And I'm like saying that out loud.
No, that's actually hilarious. I had a few stumbles that you may or may not have seen through the early parts of my career, trying to get adjusted to people saying 30 seconds, a minute, you know,
Rap.
2 minutes. And then I'll get confused and like have to, like, once they say 30 seconds and I'm like halfway through my stuff, I'll start to rush a little bit to try to get everything I need to say out. But the thing is, you know, you just need a free flow and just talk like how you're normally talking. They're just there to give you guidance, you know. You'll learn, like, you know, like just like we learned. It's a work in progress, though. It's definitely not something people do every day.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, we have that going for us. Essentially what that, I guess, Taylor is back to is the podcast. You can check both my ears. There's nobody talking to me. This is much more relaxed, laid back, and we have a lot more time. I wouldn't say infinite time, but we certainly have a lot more time to relax here, mostly from day to day. So, yeah. All right, so, yeah, CJ will be with you alone here for tomorrow. We'll have a recording of the Met Chat also go along with that. CJ will anyways be in that, and technically I'll be in it anyways.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll have a Met Chat recording of all four of us here. We'll talk about that topic tomorrow. CJ will talk about that tomorrow. But essentially, you can look forward to all four of us, including Matt in Austin. Chief Meteorologist Matt Jones and Austin Evans will all be on the podcast here for tomorrow. Yeah. All right. I think that's it here for the first weather breakdown today. You have a great rest of your Tuesday. Enjoy the sunshine.
Yes.
CJ, we'll see you tomorrow.
I will see you guys tomorrow. And make sure to take your allergy medications. The pollen is out everywhere across the Arklatex today, especially in Shreveport, Bossier. Make sure to take your allergy meds before you leave the house today, and make sure to, you know, wash yourself off from all the pollen that may have gotten on your clothes or on your body once you get back in the house. So you don't want to track that back in your house.
Yeah, I've seen it out in some cars out in the park.
Oh my gosh. Cars are green. Once white cars, they're now green because of the pollen.
Lots of people got the sniffles. Chief Meteorologist Matt Jones also had a Facebook post literally just on that. He's like, oh my goodness. Man, it's everywhere. But anyways, we'll see you. CJ specifically will see you tomorrow, 10:30. Be there, be square. Most importantly, be weather aware. Heyo. See ya tomorrow. Have a great rest of your Tuesday.
See y'all tomorrow.
Peace.